remained on Gatria when suddenly the major order was called off. Libcon 1, the planet Calypso, was under attack by the Illuminate. Simultaneously, the DSS was taken offline following a series of catastrophic failures. Helldivers deployed immediately to defend our citizens, only to uncover the true horrors of this Illuminate attack. The attack was the largest defense campaign ever seen in this war. But within hours of the emergency order, thousands upon thousands of super destroyers answered the call. With an unwavering dedication to defend managed democracy, hundreds of thousands of super destroyers filled the skies, showing the squids the unmatched power of managed democracy. Against all odds, Helldivers were on pace to successfully defend the single largest attack ever seen in this war, ahead of the pace required by approximately 1%. However, through the early morning, our pace seemed to slow down significantly, and by 900 hours, the balance started to shift in favor of the squids. But with only 12 hours remaining, Helldivers could not afford to fall further behind. Our boneless enemies continued to press the advantage, intent on slipping further ahead. Over the next 6 hours, the gap only widened. It seemed as though we were not going to hold. But the ever-obedient Helldivers did not falter. All the efforts of the past days would not go to waste. In a miraculous effort, within 4 hours, the Helldivers fought their way back to nearly even, with only 1.5 hours remaining on the defense. And as the final minutes counted down, it became much more clear. The Helldivers had come out on top, defending the single largest attack ever seen in this war, setting the Illuminate retreating, defeated in their own surprise attack. The Ministry of Truth has assessed that their numbers are limited, and this is an opportunity to eradicate the xenophobic threat for good. Abandoning the prior defenses for this opportunity, Helldivers dove to finish off the Illuminate. With this pathetic attack being all that progressed, our analysts were able to determine with a high degree of certainty that New Stockholm will be the next target from the Illuminate, which came exactly as expected on New Stockholm. On Andar and Acuben's Prime. We knew that. Well, roughly an hour later, an Illuminate invasion landed on Hanar Secundus, a planet on the Terminid front. The squids targeted our factory hub to shut down the production of the FRV. The Helldivers easily shut down the squids' invasion, and most importantly, secured the continued production of the FRVs. And the citizens, of course. The Illuminate campaign of terror continues to place fear within our citizens, and though they trust the Helldivers to protect them, firepower is not enough on its own. Thus, the government of Super-Earth has unanimously voted to enact the Freedom Act of 2184, the Freedom and Readiness to Enable Effective Defense and Obstruction of Mind Influence Act. Will give the Ministry of Unity a new security force dedicated to mind influence, dissidence, and other serious crimes. The Center for Citizen Surveillance and Security has been completed, and with the Freedom Act fully implemented, thousands of loyalty-challenged individuals have already been identified and apprehended. It has been discovered that Gloom-induced mutations may dramatically increase E710 yield, with some specimens yielding up to 10 times more E710. The potential of this finding is monumental and could enable FTL travel beyond military and colony settlement operations, expanding to trade and research sectors, as well as to further military and colony settlement operations. The plan commenced, and within the opening hours of Day 361, the Helldivers voted to send the DSS to Mend Kent before the orbital blockade was active. And once the tactical action was activated, 10 minutes later, the DSS arrived on Mend Kent, successfully trapping the Jet Brigade on the planet. As the orbital blockade deactivated, the Jet Brigade's strength was reduced by 16%. With everything now in place, the Helldivers began Phase 2 and focused on the defense of Lesaf until the Eagle Storm was activated on Mend Kent. And within minutes of activating it, it seemed as though the Toasters realized they had just sent their prize strike unit into their disassembly. The Automaton Jet Brigade was completely destroyed. The most powerful strike force the Automatons could create was utterly devastated by the tactical genius of the Helldivers and the unquestionable efficacy of the DSS. The Meridian Singularity is moving, and given its current course, it is at risk of reaching Angel's Venture. We now know that the dark energy the Illuminate are collecting is somehow powering the motion of the Singularity, and according to projections, the more energy that is gathered, the faster the Singularity will move. The Meridian Singularity could not be slowed down enough, and as the hours counted down, the major order failed, and Angel's Venture was torn apart by the gravitational pull of the Meridian Singularity. Angel's Venture was the second planet liberated by the Helldivers following their remobilization last year. It was a key planet to stage the final phase of Operation Enduring Peace, and one of 4 homes of our Super Earth Armed Forces training facilities, which were then converted to recreational campgrounds for Democratic Youth Scouts. All of this, and the lives of every citizen that could not be prioritized, are now lost forever. Behind their mask of intelligence and sophistication, the Illuminate have revealed what they truly want: carnage. The president of Super Earth announced a galaxy-wide mourning period of 24 hours, provided of reports of a new Terminid strain. These new Terminids show discoloration, increased intelligence. That can't be right.
Bugs.
Right, of course, Helldiver. Given the baseline intelligence has always been classified as non-existent, Super Earth scientists assure us that multiplying 0 by any number is still 0, meaning the bugs remain as mindless as ever, just slightly more coordinated in their stupidity. But this variant group has been dubbed the Predator strain. Diving into the Gloom, Helldivers were reminded of the intensity of the Meridian supercolony. Fighting on the streets of our colonies, the Terminid infestation was beyond anything we could have imagined. The strain of Terminids on 4A Prime appeared to burst upon death, and although many heroic Helldivers were lost throughout this expedition, our first foray into the Gloom was a resounding success. And the E710 yielded is projected to be 436% greater than ordinary planets. And with this news, a special Gloom exploitation committee has been appointed to indicate the automatons have 2 ultimate targets. The first is Dumatir. This critical planet is the home of our ongoing development of the MD8 gas mines, and also many civilians. But after weeks of delays, the gas mines are nearing operational readiness. And the second is Yolheim, though relatively low strategic importance, an emergency distress call indicating that thousands of civilians are trapped inside the ruins of good citizen Andrew's school for moderately feeble young adults. The plan commenced, and it began just as the Helldivers planned. Beckham 3 was held, and just before the automatons obtained control over Karen Prime, the DSS arrived and deployed the orbital blockade. However, it seemed throughout this time the automatons were mobilizing their next attack. In response to the brilliant defense strategy by the Helldivers, the automatons revealed their intent to kill every moderately young adult at all costs. It seemed as though the automatons would succeed. But on the morning of day 386, suddenly, a significant shift occurred on every front against the automatons. And within an hour, the defense of the attack on Beckham 3 was suddenly in our favor. Many reports were received of sudden self-destruction and catastrophic flight of automatons. As automatons seemed to rocket away from the battlefield for no apparent reason, Helldivers successfully reclaimed Karen Prime, shutting down the entire automaton offensive in 3 hours. Details were then received from High Command, indicating that this sudden unexpected collapse in automaton capabilities appears to be due to a routine update to the automaton's operating systems. The Center of Science has achieved a massive breakthrough discovery. Analysis of the gravitational waves have revealed that the Illuminate are sending the dark energy directly into the Singularity itself. Thus, High Command has ordered the establishment of a blockade around the Singularity to prevent transport of dark energy into the Singularity itself. High Command is highly confident that a conventional military blockade is the most effective option that has been thought of at this time. I mean, how else besides physically could the dark energy be transported into the Meridian Singularity? Thousands of SAAF ships, transports, and refitted merchant vessels now form a network of ships surrounding the Singularity from all sides. And although Illuminate ships still remain undetectable, it's just as to be expected. This conventional military blockade has already made a difference. Illuminate dark energy accumulation from invasions has slowed by 10%. Mordesh has been destroyed, but 95% of its Class C or higher citizens were evacuated prior to the planet's destruction. Mordesh was the home to the decommissioned Dark Fluid Research Facility, a critical planet in the support of the destruction of the Meridian supercolony. It's a giant rocket that we put close enough to the Singularity to be swept up in its rotation, but not close enough that it falls in. It then blasts back out using tons and tons of E710, thereby stealing or liberating some of the Singularity's energy. The Penrose energy siphon successfully deployed into the ergosphere of the Meridian Wormhole. After exiting the gravitational field with his E710 payload, the accumulated dark energy dropped by 30%, successfully delaying the destruction of Ibis. These attacks appear to be led by multiple new automaton units wielding incendiary weapons. For now, this unit has been termed the Incineration Core. Multiple colonies have been burned to the ground, and it seems updates have been given to provide their attacking units simulated emotions of sadistic glee. The suspected target of their offensive is Malevelon Creek. The Socialists seek to defile the graves of the brave Creekers whose sacrifices freed the planet early in the war. And it's not surprising that they are optimizing for the greatest net desecration by aligning on Malevelon Creek Memorial Day. Helldivers are ordered to hold Malevelon Creek by any means necessary, thus establishing a forward line of Vandalon 4, Ingmar, and Poply 9 would force our electronic enemies to have no other choice but to break through our defensive position. Ingmar, even with the defense 45% behind, the galaxy's greatest fighting force turned it around with time to spare, stopping both of the Toaster Core attacks in their first offensive, and securing the 3 planets for our forward line. But, following the loss of Troost, the bots retaliated by launching 4 new attacks. But the Socialist Toasters began yet another attack on Vandalon 4. A successful counterattack by the Super Earth Armed Forces significantly hampered the Automaton assault, boosting the progress on the defense and giving the Helldivers the edge they needed to slam the door on the Toaster Core. The defense was successful with only 4 minutes remaining, until suddenly, the Jet Brigade re-emerged and attacked Poply 9.
The Berkeley system.
The bots' plan was to use the Jet Brigade to brute force through the line to reach Malevelon Creek in 2 days, activating just in time to halt the Jet Brigade. The Automaton's attack progress was halted as Helldivers pressed the advantage to destroy the Jet Brigade. The bots bolstered their attack with the Incineration Core, causing logistical disruptions. This resulted in resupply pod ammunition being decreased by 50% on Poply 9.
The Berkeley system.
Desperate to have the attack succeed at all costs, the bots attacked cryo-good transports, reducing available Helldiver reinforcements on the defense. And as the final Socialist Toaster was scrapped, the Helldivers once again stood victorious, as Malevelon Creek has been successfully guarded by the Helldivers on its Memorial Day. Every citizen joined together in 3 minutes of solemn remembrance to honor those lost on their lunch break. Later, the Meridian Singularity drew critically close to Ibis, resulting in the 3rd celestial murder by the Illuminate. With regaining control of the fiery Wazen, the Helldivers have secured the resources necessary to augment the DSS with the Exosuit Support Bay, reducing exosuit stratagem cooldowns by 35% on the orbited planet. Helldivers are ordered to complete another Gloom expedition on Nivel 43. Despite the Gloom expedition being just as dangerous as we remembered, Terminid resistance dropped steadily across the first 2 days. The massive hordes of bugs within the Gloom pushed Helldivers to their limits. Though the Democracy Space Station could not be authorized to assist with the expedition, High Command authorized temporary universal access to the heavy machine gun. And over the next 2 days, enormous amounts of the crucial Gloom-enhanced E710 was collected by the Helldivers. Once again, the Helldivers have successfully completed an expedition into the Gloom. We are now entering the final phase to stop the Meridian Singularity. The construction of the repulsive gravity field generator has begun on Pil N5, derived from Illuminate dark energy technology and powered by massive quantities of E710. The generator will theoretically resist the Wormhole's movement to stop it once and for all, until alerts were received of major Illuminate invasions on both Fenrir 3 and Pil N5.
The Pelin system.
The Illuminate, now desperate to stop us from halting the Meridian Singularity, are attacking critical planets to jeopardize our efforts, targeting both Turing and Fenrir 3 at the same time. Spread thin across both invasions, Helldivers were not able to defend Turing, and the Illuminate attack on the Xenoentomology Center has resulted in an outbreak of the Predator strain kept under study. With the repulsive gravity field generator nearing completion, the Illuminate appeared to mounting a final desperate attempt to stop it. Helldivers were spread thin across multiple fronts against all 3 of our enemies, leading to a catastrophic few days. Finally secured, and despite having 12 consecutive lost defenses against our enemies, this was simply a strategic cost to pay for our ultimate victory against the Illuminate. The repulsive gravity field generator activated on Pil N5, and even with whatever the Illuminate were doing on Tibet, dark energy was no longer being accumulated by their invasions, but the repulsive gravity field generator was still activated despite not meeting all design metrics. However, the Center of Science has confirmed the Meridian wormhole has been stopped, and the Illuminate have disappeared. But later that morning, an Illuminate invasion fleet emerged from the Meridian Singularity and struck Widow's Harbor. Multiple defense satellites monitoring the Meridian wormhole ceased reporting moments before the attack on Widow's Harbor. Intel has confirmed the presence of a massive Illuminate invasion fleet, with the ultimate objective of invading Super-Earth itself. Widow's Harbor, Peelin 5, and New Haven lie between the Illuminate and Super-Earth. Cross-ministry defense projections indicate that all 3 planets will fall. Helldivers are ordered to meet the invasion fleet and inflict as much damage as possible, while megacity defenses are bolstered. A battle on Super-Earth is inevitable, and by the start of Day 467, the Helldivers had successfully destroyed approximately 21.5% of the Great Host. The Helldivers' heroic stand against this unforeseen offensive has successfully secured the time necessary for megacity defenses to be prepared on Super-Earth. 2 hours later, the Illuminate fleet continued on its path, razing Mars and all Helldiver training sites. Fortunately, Helldiver training has been relocated to another undisclosed planet, but reinforcement budgets will suffer a short-term reduction by 1. And just over an hour later, the Great Host fleet reached Super-Earth.